Industrialization is the process of economic and social change. It is one that shifts the centers of economic activity onto the focus of work, wages, and incomes. Beginning in the 19th century, industrialization took part in two ways in the land of the true north, strong and free, also known as Canada. But before we get into what this beautiful country is like today, let's rewind. Canada was originally a country populated with the First Nations society, which consisted of hunters, farmers, fur traders, loggers, and fishermen. They called these people the hunter-gatherers. It was the 16th century when Europeans came, settled, and started to create an economic shift. Today, Canada is built up of 10 provinces and 3 territories, but let's just focus on 2. Ontario, home of the capital, the CN Tower, and a large percent of the world's fresh water. Quebec, Canada's most French-speaking population, also known for its beauty. Although other Canadian provinces helped to support industrialization in Canada, Ontario and Quebec were the ones that developed quickly, and the rest followed in their tracks. Industrialization in Canada all started with the fur trade. This happened in the 1600s. The fur trade had been going on for years between First Nations and Canada, but it only started to evolve when British businessmen came to take over the fur trade from Montreal, a city in Quebec. By doing this, jobs in the finance industry and throughout commerce expanded. With the need for more work, British immigrants came in and the population increased. Unfortunately, when the Europeans became a part of the fur trade, the First Nations people were overthrown, forced to leave certain areas of Canada and create their own territories, and they were put out of work. From the fur trade came one of Canada's most famous mass production industries, Hudson's Bay. Hudson's Bay is described today as Canada's most iconic department store, manufacturing products from Canada's Olympic attire to furniture. Though it doesn't seem like it, this quintessential Canadian company has a long history, all leading back to the fur trade. It all started in 1659 with the discovery of a great amount of fur by 2 men of the names Radisson and de Groseilliers. The massive fur could only be accessed via the Hudson's Bay. It was 1684 when the first factory was developed in York. However, in 1782, a fire destroyed it. As time went on, HBC began to develop products. In fact, it was 1780 when a man named Thomas Empson developed the first Hudson's Bay well-known blanket. In the later 18th century, Hudson's Bay became such a success that it expanded towards central Canada. In 1821, HBC merged with a company based out of Montreal, Quebec, making it one of the largest Canadian companies being spread all across Canada. Their first retail store opened in 1881, and in the 19th century, Hudson's Bay didn't only have to do with mass production industry, but as well the fashion industry, as a new era had come upon them, the fashion era. HBC made an important decision to move away from their traditional fur and focus on what the people now wanted. Trading posts became sales shops filled with a variety of supplies, materials, and textiles that had never before been seen in Canada. In the 1980s, HBC became Canada's most iconic department store. After the 1900s, new industries in Canada came to be. Industries such as electrical industries, Canada is well known for their hydropower, automobiles, radios and home appliances, and in the 1940s, aircraft. Canada is well known for their cheap hydraulic power, hydropower. The majority of Canada's power is produced in Quebec,
and Ontario. Hydropower was first developed in Canada in the 1850s. Water would move from water wheels, and the energy created from these water wheels would help to power machinery used to develop and build. Around the 1860s to 70s, factories with turbines